Alrighty. Hopefully everything is in order here. Be good to go in a second. Alright. Gonna get everyone in wing, and we should be good to go. I know Hate jumped in voice, but he's not in game. And now he's still there. We have 3 out of our... How many do we have in voice right now? 6 total. So we had a wing and a half. Elite's updating? Okay. Well, I guess we will be shoving off here in about a minute or so. If everyone's good, I'm gonna unmute. On Discord, I might have to adjust your guys' volume a moment. But, we'll see. Grab the volume slider while I'm at it, just in case anyone starts screaming. I like your pumpkins, Data. There it is.
What a fucking old guy, I guess that's your business.
I'll just do what he says.
Alright.
$20.
Unmuted that.
$20 is $20.
Unmuted that and forgot we didn't have push to talk because the perms are messed up. So.
Alright, we'll clean it up.
I'm not sure what's actually going on in there, but I was basically planning on just deafening in and out when we're actually doing something, and until then assuming everyone isn't talking about what they ate for dinner.
Wait, what?
Oh, sorry, no dinner chat, Chig.
Well, I'll just mute my mic then.
the entire thing. You can't talk at all. Alright, well, how many do we have in Oleron then? I see Chicken Data and Hate's updating, so I will leave a spot for him.
Crap, I got it popped up.
If we are decently ready, we'll just go ahead and shove on off to the first spot. The first spot was a quick jump over to a very, very old snippet of Elite's horror story. But I know a lot of people, well, I assume a lot of people have seen it at this point, but I know Hate, who was the one who brought up the idea in the first place of doing something like this, he said he hadn't, so how long do you think you'll be, it'll take us a minute to get over there anyway, how long do you think you'll be, Hate? Soon, DM? Okay, well, you, worst case scenario, you're gonna just see it on the stream. Well, anyone else want a wing slot, or are we good to go? Alright, so I did not make, I can turn the music down, I did not make title cards for the locations that we're going, so if anyone is in the chat and wanting to follow along, they can just repeatedly spam question marks as to where we are. First location, really old, probably the first one that I remember being something classified as a horror story in Elite, is in Nefertem, Nefertem, and that's 11.5 light years away. I'm assuming everyone can make that.
Manage.
Sounds good. Yeah, I didn't realize when I was telling you that before we started data, I didn't realize that I had set Oleron for the location, but I didn't realize that there was a compromised nav beacon in here. So, waiting.
I have a bounty.
Yeah, I was waiting for people to pop up with, oh, I just got some spare cargo in their little exploration ships and whatnot. That is what it is. Hey, Karoof. Haven't seen you in a while. Now, I have absolutely no idea where... Okay, very simple. You literally just rotate around and I found it. So you can just follow me. The Thetis in here, being a generation ship, some of them, the old ways you would find them before FSSs, and I know most people probably don't remember the pain of having to deal with it, but you would get a listening post, you would go to one particular body, it would tell you, and then you would target another system out in the distance, and you would go towards that. You wouldn't jump, you would just fly that way. I couldn't remember, it's been a long time since I've been to Thetis. It's probably, if I had to pick, this and Boarding Party are my two favorite stories in Elite as far as the gen ships go. And I figured we'd start off with this one because this is a very old one and a lot of people saw it. I think it was either the first or the third generation ship that was found when EFTA finally released them into the wild. Whether they'd been here or not before that is unlikely, even though they did release news articles, Galnet articles about generation ships being in the game. They did that like 3-4 months beforehand, back when they kind of were still throwing out information that wasn't necessarily in the game yet, which was always a fun time for us who take the time to figure that stuff out, wandering around looking at absolutely nothing. anyone who's new to these, make sure you have your data link scanner set up on a fire group, and the logs are 0 to whatever the max number is. So 0 is the first. It would be helpful if you scan them in order, for the simple fact that sometimes the logs aren't numbered afterwards, and then you go into the inbox and, well, you're sitting there reading the end. We had that happen we had that happen last time. So anyone in the group that's here, yeah, this one's an obvious POI. Anyone that's in the group that's here who has actually been here before or not? Is this a recurring location for you guys?
This will be my first time.
Yeah, I don't think I've been to this one.
Now, call me crazy.
Crazy.
Okay. Well, that was the end of it. No, I don't remember the parasol on the generation ships blinking. I don't remember that at all. They update some textures. No, they might have. I don't remember blinking on the tops of these either. I could just be talking out of my ears, but I'm pretty sure I don't remember the parasols blinking, but it is what it is. Getting the discovery scanner in there, data. Can't be too careful.
All my scanners are on one fire group.
Mm.
Honking when you're in stations is very important. Critical step.
Hey, take a Thargoid probe, dump it in the station. You have no idea what. Oh, so you've never seen any of these generation ships before? There's about 16 now, I believe. I don't really know why I'm scanning these, because I already have all these in my codex, but nice to see some names in here I don't recognize, so I must be getting some either traffic from Sinbad or names that have just popped in from the general stream. God, I remember when these gen ships were really new. I very, very clearly remember people going out to these in their anacondas and getting stuck in the generation ships. Yeah, there's a lot of areas to get stuck, so that's why I always take a small ship for these. 4 is up front. Yeah, these gen ships have been around for, dear God, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years now, I believe. They've been around for a long time, and they usually hold some of the best voice acted stuff in the game overall. Well, I think, yeah, I have everything. So what I'm gonna do is we can give a moment. I don't know if everyone's in instance with us or not. We can give everyone a moment or so, and then I can mute Discord and we can start playing them. So we've got, this is stop 1 out of probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. There's a lot of decent variety. I didn't want to make it all just generation ships. I forget how big these things are, though. Absolutely massive. How many more do you have, McPherson? cannot hear you if you're talking.
Sorry, I had
No.
myself muted. I've got 2 more, but you go ahead and go.
It's fine. We can wait another second because I know not everyone is in our group or in our instance. Thank you, Hate, for being the. We'll make you the show sponsor here for tonight. You'll be the talk.
I just remembered I'm sitting on my fleet carrier in the Crystal Forests.
Well, that was a good way to prep for the idea you in part came up with.
I got a lot going on IRL.
It's fine. That's why the VOD is here. You'll be able to re-listen to yourself being silly over recording. Well, he's got those last 2. We can go ahead. I'll mute myself here.
Still all quiet out here in the black. Just had our very first 9th gen child born on ship. That takes the current population to 17,401. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. Apart from reports from some residents at the northern end of C deck. They've heard some kind of strange whispering sound coming from their apartment comms unit. I'm sure it's nothing, but I've dispatched a member of tech to investigate. We have an emergency situation on board. Some kind of epidemic. It's driving people insane. I've managed to source it to a digital signal that keeps broadcasting within the comms array. It started on C deck, but now the entire population of decks C to F have been massacred. They just went crazy and started killing each other. I've isolated the signal, so it's stopped for now. Just trying to identify the source. It should be easy enough to delete the beacon if I can find the right frequency. I want to know what the message says, but I'm just too scared to listen. I've done it. I've managed to decrypt the signal and identify the source. But it's even more confusing than I thought. The signal originates from an uninhabited planet we passed 15 light years ago. Who sent it and how it managed to infect the comms array, I have no idea. That's the good news. The bad news is I heard the message. I was trying to run it through the translator and I forgot the speaker was on. It's the same message relayed again and again and again. It's more a whisper than anything else. It says, kill them all. Blood. Blood everywhere. It's spread on the walls. People have started writing words in it, but it's a script I can't identify. I'm alone now on the comms deck. Pearson was the last one with me, but I had to stab him in the throat to stop him. Stop him. I can't remember what I had to stop him doing, but he's dead now. I can hear people out there. Some of them are still walking around. Some of them are barely breathing. I have to find them. I have to silence them. I have to...
So that is one of my favorite ones for a long time, for a lot of reasons.
Ugh.
What did you guys what did you guys think?
Super creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I very, 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 very much enjoy that one. There has never really been any follow-ups to this one, and it talks about obviously about a signal a few ways back. I think that's in the third page. Yeah, 15 light years ago. People did take a decent jaunt to try and figure things out, figure out what it is, but nothing was ever found. Now these obviously came out when well after Horizons came out, so obviously there's surface sites, but we've never had access to all of the bodies, so there's the chance that they expound upon it later down the line with light thin atmospherics or other things. There's the chance that it's out there right now, or just it's just part of the story and won't be said or anything. So
Well, I want to go inside that dome and use my plant gun.
the biodome over there. Yeah, so this is the reason I wanted to start with this one, because this is like one of the first stories that Elite brought some creepiness to the table, and also really started their one-off stories, because I think their one-off stories are much cooler than some of the bigger threads, just because they are really bizarre, often out of context, and you don't always really have a follow-up or idea as to what's going on with them, so they can make them as creepy as they like, which I very much enjoy. Any of you have any extra questions about it? Because we did, Canon and a few other groups did take quite a bit of time to search around. If you all of the generation ships traveled in real time, so you have to go off of based when they left, and then the distance they could have made to that point. So they could have gone upwards of 900-ish plus light years from Sol. They all left from Sol. And if you go to your map, the way we went about it was we just did 15. Turn off all these damn lines. We just went 15 light years back along, along towards Sol. Now there's this big gap here, and if you go straight, nothing really aligns up with 15 light years unless it wasn't a straight line, which the generation ships definitely didn't. Well, they've been going. How fast are they going? It was definitely near relative speeds. It wasn't using any sublight or super cruise or anything. But they basically they could accelerate to really, really close, just below the minimum of what we have with our base speed of super cruise, and then they could slow down. I can't remember. It's fusion, I believe, were the drives they were using, because after the Third World War, that we finally perfected that power. And I mean, they left over, over close to 1,000 years at this point. So they moved that time, or some of them just continued to drift. The way they would travel is they would go to the reason I was talking about earlier is that some of the you misheard. So it's they said 15 light years back this way it would have been back towards Sol, so it would have been somewhere like, over here maybe in this system for all we know. That's 14.48. And I suppose I can stream this to Discord since I'm doing this again that I said I probably didn't need to of going through the gal map, but there it's on Discord. Let me know if anyone sees any stream quality on Twitch drop because I'm streaming to 2 places at once. Shouldn't be, but the way they would travel is they would get to a star, go to a body, and then from that body they would then survey if that was something they wanted or just a passing spot using gravity assist. And then from there, they would pick another star. Let's say they were going to Shapash. They would pick another star, and from here, they would just, normal speed to that other star and repeat the process. Yeah, you're right, 8. Their drives improved, but it was never above, above or at light speed. The one interesting thing, though, is that in one of these generation ships, the stories that they have was in the time that they had gone a couple generations out, and this must have been really creepy from a third-person perspective, but apparently they knew that technology had increased. They had information and gotten apparently they had some sort of contact, but the general law was that you weren't supposed to interact with generation ships at all. But at one point there was a generation ship that was being stalked by pirate vessels, and they were vessels that had basically a version of our FSD to a certain degree. They could go into sublight, so they would warp. And I can only imagine how horrifying that must be. Of even if you know if they're people or not, you don't know anything about tech back home, and then all of a sudden there's these what seem to appear as human vessels just popping in and out of space around you, and you know nothing of that tech. Must have been like a horrifying concept. But apparently they knew that by some means or another that particular vessel knew how tech had advanced, so I don't fully know what was going on there. But that was that story. Like I said, we checked, looked. Nothing is in a straight line. It doesn't have to be, but nothing ever turned up. But a lot of the systems through here are that's way too far back. But a lot of the systems in here, is my point, is that a lot of them are icy bodies, and they all have thin atmospheres, so if they have to want to go along with it, they can. I prefer if they don't, and they just leave us with this, and call it a day. Because it is really, really cool, the ambiguity of it all.
Yeah. You have to have answers to everything.
Yeah, definitely, especially in such a large galaxy like this. So we're gonna look at the itinerary I put up because that was one of my favorite stories, and I figured we'd start right next to it. I'm gonna see which system is closer. We have one that is 280 light years away, and then okay, that can be our third, I think. Looks like, based on distance, we'll just be going to the Far Gods storyline. So, Etain is the system we're looking for. It's Etain. and I can give some backstory on the Far Gods, but this will be a bit different because these are surface bases, 9 logs split between two planets, 2 moons rather. So I can make that in one jump. It's only 30, probably you guys can too. Yeah, it's been, I don't even know if I've been back at the Thetis since the first time I've seen it, so that's a long time. I just keep the all of these logs will be saved in your codex, so that's where I always read them from. Alright. I could have sworn you had said you had been here before, Chig.
I don't remember anything ever.
Okay. Well, that all works out. So, about the Far God cult.
I think after listening to these logs, I think we had come here on a TIE Spies trip or something
yeah.
like that.
Maybe, yeah.
That one was definitely a TIE spy.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't resist starting with that because it was, regardless of, I know a lot of people have seen that because it was one of the first ones, but I couldn't resist starting there because that one's too cool to me. I think it's Etane 4. Yeah, 4A and 4A and 4C is where we're heading. Interesting. I did not notice the Far God's little cult area was right beneath an ammonia-based gas giant. That's funny. Anyway, so the Far Gods, this is some pretty detailed backstory, but couldn't really think of where to fit it in on any other adventures, so I figured why not now. The Order of the Far God cult started back in 3304, and it was right towards the middle of the initial Thargoid conflict, where journalists and different people in Galnet, scholars, whatever, began noticing fringe doomsayer cults proliferating through the core systems. And it was an unnamed cult for the longest time, but these people basically had the idea that the Thargoids were a how should I put it? They assumed that the Thargoids were the background caretakers of reality, and they were coming to basically whisk them away, whisk all of humanity away, whoever, wasn't killing them. It was an interesting kind of, there wasn't ever a Xeno ally storyline, but that was kind of as close as we ever got, where you had the people fighting them, and then one group who obviously were a fringe religion, but they were still alluding to the fact that if if we didn't harass them, something might become of it. Then again, they were doing a lot of very strange things that led a lot of people not to believe that, outside of them just being a fringe religion. Let's see. Trying to think of where to go from there. So it kind of rippled throughout the Federation initially. We had a lot of groups, churches, cropping up saying that they were going along with the Far God cult's ideals, that these were the heralds of the Thargoids themselves, were the heralds of the Far God, and that they would be, taken away to a sort of rapture, and the Thargoids' attacks were a sort of cleansing. And this started in the Federation to the point where initially it was kind of, the Federation were just like, whatever, it's a fringe religion, doesn't matter. But they started taking these people and doing things to them. And I won't spoil everything because we're going to get down to the surface here and hear some of them, but they were taking a lot of people, and these people were not coming back out of the cult. Anytime the feds went in, basically they just saw people sitting around and not doing really anything. So, but then at the same time, they seemed to be preying on different types of people, as cults do, who are down on their luck, and they were disappearing. Though they would find them in the churches, they would basically have been renounced and removed from society. So once that started, the feds weren't happy with it, and they actually took it under their own guise to go ahead and start arresting these people, at least detaining them to see what they knew, because at the same time, the Far Gods had a couple CGs regarding gathering Thargoid materials for various sites of worship and whatnot, but at the same time the feds weren't 100% sure what the Thargoids were up to. So while it was a fringe religion, it was an interesting part in the story because everyone knew, yeah, it's just a cult, but we don't fully know what the Thargoids are doing. And at one point, Pranav Antal in the storyline, he had been talking about some of their simulation stuff, injecting people's minds into a big simulation is part of the Utopia's goal. And he had made the point that, well, if we've got the Utopia doing this, what if, the Thargoids are doing something similar? All these people just out of nowhere erupting and going, yeah, we need to worship these things. The feds weren't 100% sure if the Thargs were manipulating people or not. And there was also a question, kind of like a lizard people sort of deal, were the Thargoids capable of disguising themselves as people and coming in and setting these churches up and dismantling? So it was really cool because no one really knew what was going on. And while it remained a fringe religion, it still had so much, curiosity with it that it made you wonder at the same time of like, yeah, they're just a religion, but I don't know. So that's kind of how the Far Gods story went. They had a couple CGs, and things kind of went quiet for a while afterwards. They basically had two CGs. One was for worship, another was for preparing something regarding a crypt, and we didn't really know what that was about. And these two particular bases are both the kind of end story of the Far Gods saga, which I guess went on for about a year or more. Actually went on for quite a while. You're not going to be able to get a hold of these via your ship. You'll definitely have to land. I don't know why we have so many orcas being obnoxious up top, but a lot of NPCs that just kind of passively maneuver around here, so don't mind them. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There you go. If the volume ever sounds weird on stream, let me know. I don't mind balancing things. It's always a bit different each time because Twitch updates certain things in the background and then the game updates and changes. I don't really need to scan these, but I guess in the same scenario I'll scan them for just like everyone else. I've got all these on my codec still. Yeah, I haven't oh good. Well, this seems to have this might have one through the first 5. Yeah, I didn't really look into any more about whatever today's supposed Halloween event was. After I saw the very simple binary, I got disinterested. I don't know why. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'll see when more things come out. Oh, forgot this is an icy body. Really slippery around here. So we're not going to listen to anything here. We're just going to grab these logs and move to the next one because you're not going to have all of them. They're scattered between the two. I'll let you know how many it is between each. I actually don't remember. It's probably either 4 or 5 here. If anyone has any questions about them, because it's takes a bit of memory muscle on my part to remember some of the Thargoid story, because at the same time we were, defending systems from actual Thargoid assaults. Had any of you guys, probably not, I guess, had any of you guys
No.
played when that was happening? Yeah, I don't think so.
No, not me.
If you need to, increase your radar on your range on your SRV. Help you see where all the settlement logs are. Come on. Oh, I already did that one. Well, so far I have 3, but I'm pretty certain that is incorrect.
1, 3, and 4 so far. I have 9.
Wait, you have 9?
No, 1, 3, and 4 out of 9.
Oh, where's 3?
Next to me, where I currently am.
Oh, there were 2 right now. Okay. That was,
Behind me.
yeah. Behind you.
Yeah.
Wish you could use the context panel in your... Thought I got that one. Maybe I didn't. Nope. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's all of them, but I'm gonna give a slight run around. I don't know.
This green cloud made me weary of getting too close to my ship. This cloud.
Yeah, it's interesting how there's caustic mist and then there's just green mist. I never fully understood why there's a difference there, but I think that's just to make things spooky. It is something to make of note that there's a green mist at both of these. Yeah, I think I've got all of them. I've got 1 through 4. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, 1 through 4. I got.
If you want to hang here, I'll go to the next one and see.
Okay.
If you want to, you can. If you don't see anything and you're pretty certain, then we can go ahead. But worst case scenario is I do have the written version in my codex. Icy planet, icy moons going. If you think driving on an icy moon is bad, there's one that's like 7 Gs, and you can, in the slightest inclination, you are not leaving. You are not going anywhere. Alright, well, I will see you guys on the other body if you don't see anything there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I think it's kind of why I wanted to throw it in here, because I think for most everyone playing, at least that are in loose screws and whatnot, the Thargoid storyline is completely passed before everyone's time. They were an interesting bunch for sure, because some of the public suspicion and stuff creeped up in a few parts of the Empire, but it was mainly bulk of the people were in the Federation, if I remember correctly. I wrote some notes down while my AFK assist is taking me over there. I can look through. Let's see. Yeah, so when the feds started arresting multiple of the individuals for committing various misdemeanors against the cult, because the public as well was, as the public was terrified of them. But then the Federation was like, well, it is, they are just cult members, but what if they're in contact in some way? There were no recorded cases of worshippers retaliating, defending themselves, or even seeking assistance when being beaten by members of the public or apprehended by the feds, interestingly enough. So there was also public outcry against, the feds and the federal people just, going apeshit on people because of whatever random idea they had in their head. Mistrust of the cult continued to grow, and around July 5th of 3304, a reporter stoked tensions further with speculation that the reclusive Thargoid cult was a fifth column of brainwashed abduction victims sent back from so it was sent back from into human space as spies and saboteurs. So that was only a month or so in, and they were already doing that. Right along with that, which I found it was really kind of funny, because humans always have this knack for just taking up the reins of whatever other group or was doing at the time and going, well, we have to continue this. When the Far God cult became much more public, another group called if I remember correctly, the Church of the Eternal Void, they wanted to declare a holy war against the Far God cult, because they said that humans were descendants and disciples of the Guardians, because, well, in the logs they're very similar. So we had a minor holy war in Elite Dangerous for a relatively short period of time, if I remember correctly. The FIA had a lot of investigations into both groups. It was generally just a bad time in Galnet for the people in game, lore wise. So did you guys stop on those four then, you think?
Yeah, I took a good
Okay.
trip around the base and didn't see anything else. So.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Misdemeanors. Yes. Oh, what would you look at that? Speaking of the heralds of the Far God. He came just for Halloween.
We can all ram it to death with our little jumpers.
Well, I'll have to let he or she get done pilfering through that.
It's pretty creepy.
Is that a common sight?
Is what a common sight?
Thargoids in the middle of the bubble just scanning
Yep.
Fargod stuff?
Yep. This was what was pretty interesting about the story, because a group of fringe people making something seem extremely believable and not being sure who's who's telling the truth or not. Yeah, there's still some locations where Thargoids are in the bubble. I would appreciate if this man could get done scanning these buildings. See if he can deal with me planning a little bit out.
Having a Thargoid so close to ground-based structures really puts him in scale.
My lord, my man, where are you going?
Pit.
But
Huh?
well, that's a new Thargoid crash location.
Wait, what is he scanning over there?
London gear retracted.
What is Jimmy Dean doing down here? He's lost a marble or two.
I just got into cruise. I can see you too. Chasing. I can see you chasing him.
Did you blow a gasket or did you actually pick something up? I can't tell. I think he blew a gasket. That or he did. He had the tractor beam was out, so I don't know.
Predictive anomaly detected.
Popping out.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what what treats he was here for. I see absolutely nothing down here. He just came over and scanned a random. Oh no! Wait, hold on. Here we are. Okay. Well, it looks like he came over and scanned some cargo on the ground. You know what? I bet there was an escape pod over here that spawned off a random POI, and he had the absolute big brain play of scooping shit off the surface. Hold on, I doubt that there's anything important here, but I'm very curious if these are almost at it. For some reason, you can't scan skimmers in your ship. That would be crazy. They're clean. You can't kill them.
Is there a crash ship nearby?
No,
We'll
he
just build that stuff.
I don't know. I think it looked like an SRV. No, nothing important here. So there must have been it's a pretty neat site though. There must have been a escape pod. Alright, well, back to the Far God thing. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
But it was never too surprising to me that the Thargoids interacted with the Far God cult, because there were two CGs where they were collecting all of their stuff and, you know, setting up big altars of it. So when the Thargoids were in the bubble, they just, you know, attracted to it.
Pro tip: deploy your landing gear in order to land.
Damn. Did you learn that from the logs here? That's what the Thargoids really came to tell us. That's what they need a religion to be made, so we'd know.
But he was trying to show us how to land. That's why he went so close to the ground over there.
Yeah, he's like, okay, get close to the ground like this, but don't be this person way over here. Alright. All 4 uplinks are like glued to this corner, but that means there should be a 5th on your side, Data.
You have around 4B.
4C.
Yeah.
Charlie. See the prophet. Location.
Yeah, I got it. There we go. Catching up.
Alright, I'm missing just one then. Long laundry list. Oh no, wait, I have everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm missing 6. I'm missing 6.
6. I have 6 targeted over here.
Thank you. And you can come sit right over here and you'll be able to reach all the last 4.
Okay.
Right here. And you can reach them all. I want to find a darker corner. Damn it, Data, you left your lights on. This'll be fun. This works. Alright, I'll give you guys a second to grab the last 1 or 2 there. I will get my stuff situated.
I greet you in the name of the Far God. Know that our galaxy lies in the shadow of this omniscient and most holy being. What the ignorant refer to as Thargoids are, in truth, the heralds of the Far God, preparing us for its manifestation. On that day, humanity will be destroyed. But we, who have heeded the truth, will ascend and be transformed. In the sacred void temple, we willingly entomb ourselves to preserve our souls until the Far God comes. I've instructed my fellow adherents to record their last words as they prepare for the crypts, in the hope that others may be inspired to join us. I wasted many years on false religions and hollow human faith. Now, I worship something real, something powerful. The Far God calls to me in my dreams. It is coming.
I'm ready. I've been ready for a long time, actually. But the fasting and the trials have left me feeling lighter, purer. I was glad to come here. Most of my chapter is gone. They burned our hive chapel to the ground. Everyone I knew died. I'm not afraid of death, because I know it isn't the end. When the Far God comes, we will experience a glorious rebirth that will elevate us to a higher plane. But for so many of my friends to have suffered at the hands of the ignorant and fearful, well, it sickens me. So much pain. I've had enough of pain. I'm ready for my reward. I'm ready for the peace the Far God will bring.
I don't know where I am. I thought we were going to the Hive Chapel, but instead we've come here. Is it time? Is the Far God coming? They gave me something for the pain. Injections. Man, I've had a lifetime of injections. First it was fun, then it was necessary. I don't know what's going to happen, I don't. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Even if there's nothing afterwards, nothing means no more injections. Couldn't be worse than what I've been through. Anything's better than being me.
Can I interject for a moment to drive a bit of a ways from this obnoxious NPC that's circling around is annoying me. Should be good. No, that's closer. Damn these things. Oh, whatever. It'll be quieter for the majority until it gets overhead. Back to the show.
Things have progressed. We're now at the stage where we can enter suspended animation. It's a shame in a way, as I wanted to be conscious to witness the Far God's arrival. But our herald assures me that the automatic system will wake us up as soon as it manifests. Oh, I'm curious to know what will happen. Will we keep our human bodies, or will we be given new forms so we can function in the far God's dimension? I sometimes wondered if the flower ships might once have been human. Maybe people from escape pods taken by the Thargoids. If so, it's a remarkable transformation. No need for crude starships anymore. We'll be able to soar through space ourselves. Well, no matter what happens, it's thrilling to know that we'll be the ones to experience the next stage of evolution. We're the future of the human race.
I'm scared. Really scared. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I might have made a mistake. On the streets, things were bad, but then the monks found me and helped me. I didn't ask any questions. I guess I wanted to be saved, and they did save me, in a way, but I've been thinking about my dad. I know he was worried about me living rough, but I pushed him away. And now the monks are saying we need to go to sleep. I don't understand what's happening. But they all seem so happy, so I guess it can't be bad. I hope my dad hears this and comes to get me. I want to go home.
This will be awesome. I'm gonna see the Thargoids destroy everyone. Literally everyone. Ever since I was a kid, I've been fascinated by the Thargoids. I used to dream about them coming back. Then one day they were on Galnet, blowing up starports, gunning down ships. Nothing could stop them. They must have heard me praying that they'd come back. I don't care about the Far God. I just wanted to get close to the Thargoids, and these cultists seem like the best bet. This is gonna be the biggest massacre in history, an actual galactic apocalypse, and I'll have a front row seat.
This is for my husband, my sister, and my colleagues. I hope this message reaches you. There's something I want you to know. You're going to die, and I can't wait. My cruel, smug husband, my selfish sister, my hypocritical co-workers, the people who hurt me, belittled me, ruined my life. You're monsters. All of you. But don't worry about me, as if you ever did. I'll be looking down on you from witch space, laughing as you burn, especially you, Arlo. You won't be so smug when the Far God is eating your soul.
There's one thing I want to make clear, okay? We deserve this. The whole human race. We brought this on ourselves. We deserve to be destroyed. You know, we talk about our achievements, how we've colonized to the stars, but the only thing we do is spread ruin. So many worlds tainted with pollution or terraformed for our selfish needs. The galaxy is a living organism, and we're spreading through it like a cancer, destroying everything we touch. The only God worthy of devotion is one that will neutralize the human infection. I don't care if the Far God is literally real, as long as humanity is extinguished. It's time to balance the scales and let nature continue without us.
My name is Nathan Summers, and I'm an agent with the Federal Intelligence Agency Ident 4989 Kappa Theta. I've been on a deep cover assignment for 3 weeks, pretending to be part of this cult. I was looking for evidence that they were communicating with the Thargoids or acting as their spies. At this point, I'm pretty sure they're not. But I am sure of one thing. They're insane. They really do believe some kind of alien god is gonna come out of hyperspace and, I don't know, save them or something. I've kept my cover, despite being hauled off to this remote outpost. But I've lost contact with the FIA, and these guys are about to put everyone into suspended animation. If anyone receives this message, this is Agent Summers requesting immediate extraction. Get me the hell out of here.
Gonna be awesome. No, no.
Those ones I had not.
So the community goals succeeded, and they got into suspended animation. As far as the official story goes. It's kind of like, so it's like in Mars Attacks, the hippies that are on top of the Empire State Building or whatever it is. Take us with you. Minor correction, that was Independence Day. That was Independence Day, not Mars Attacks. Important detail.
I was just gonna let you be wrong, Data.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah.
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two,
It's disturbing.
That's for the Tharga queue.
fuel scooping.
They need Indian Dorn to do engineering for them.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Like a vivisection to study human biology. Like we take tissue samples, I guess, with the research limpets. Yeah.
They drones.
Hive or colony or
Drones are soldiers.
So far, the tour for me has been an adventure in fixing keybinds. Yeah, I had gotten a new stick. Didn't have my SRV. I didn't have my FSS. I was going to scan the system when I got in here. So yeah, I'm having fun.
I didn't unmute. Oh well. No one needed to hear anything I said. I don't think you missed much of anything. I was saying, I did forget. I forgot because of those damn NPCs were circling over my head. I didn't say much of anything other than I enjoyed the emotions a lot of the actors had in those logs, because there are about 6 distinct actors that I've heard cycled through some of these logs, and well, they always have a really good time of capturing a character's emotion in a very short time span, because if you only got 4, 5 paragraphs, it might be hard to get across the idea of what a character may or may not be feeling. So if I got a third window or a third monitor, I wouldn't have trouble with seeing whether I was muted or not. Tell you what, I'll move this and that, and then I'll be no longer muted. Alright, so this is a much newer generation ship. Still the blinking. I do not remember the blinking. Probably I don't go to these anymore, so it's probably just me misremembering. I don't know if any of you guys have been to this one or not.
Calls now.
It's a first round for all of these for me.
Well, let's see. There's only 4 logs here. This one's a shorter one, so pace them out a bit because the Far God takes a little bit to grab. Yeah, I hate some of those surface bases where just bothers me. It probably doesn't bother anyone else, but I'm very auditorily sensitive, and those damn NPCs that flip around your head in circles. No reason for them to be there in the first place. Guess I haven't had my, I have. Does anyone put their Azure paint jobs on anything? I haven't.
Nope.
All I have access to is my courier, so I did.
It looks really nice on the dropship and assault ship, just because of their flat panels. But that's kind of all of the all of the iridescent paints to me. Anything metallic and iridescent works really well on them. All right.
I dropped it on my Python. Had flown too much.
Well, I guess I will go ahead and play these. By the time you guys get in and listen to them, I'm sure I'll be done, and I'll remember to unmute my mic this time afterwards. Not that I said anything too amazing. Let's see. I think the only thing I missed out on was I knew at some point I had heard somewhere that the Thargoids might be taking people away for turning them into ships or turning them into hearts or something like that. I knew it wasn't just a random baseless remark, because I normally don't say things unless I have some basis for it that I remember in game. Alright. I will mute myself and mute Discord. And here we go. Really, really, really like this one. Almost forgot about it until I started making the list for where we were going for this.
Hello? Look, can anyone hear me? There's been a mistake. I'm not supposed to be in here. I only borrowed that data chip. I was gonna give it back. Locking me in the brig is completely unnecessary. Where do you think I would go if you let me out? We're in the depths of the black.
Keep it down in there, Collins.
All right, keep your shirt on. I'm sure we can work all this out. If I could just explain myself to the captain, he'd realise this is all a big misunderstanding. What's happening? I can hear a siren. Can anyone hear me? I've been in here for 2 days and no one's come to check on me. Can't someone tell me what's going on? Please! Is the ship being evacuated? You can't leave me behind! You have to let me out of here! I'm not even supposed to be in here! Can anyone hear me? Or am I just talking to myself? It's been days. Everything's so quiet. Thank God that siren finally stopped, but now the silence is killing me. God, where is everyone? The automated systems provide me with food and water and flush away my waste, but for how much longer? Someone will find the ship soon, surely. We can't just drift through the void forever, can we? It's whispering to me. I can hear it through the air vents. The void is speaking to me. It wants to tell me something, but I can't make out the words. It must be a way out of this prison. A solution to the puzzle. I'm innocent. They know I've done nothing wrong, but they put me in here anyway. It was a test. I know that now. Part of some greater game. I just need to find the answer. How long have I been here? A week? A year? Maybe only a matter of hours. Isolation does strange things to people. A lesser man might have gone insane, but not me. Not Joe Collins. Joe Collins. That is me, isn't it?
I really like that one. I'm not unmuted on Discord yet because I think they're behind a sec or two and one's still going for it. But I'd like to preface for anyone who was looking on the stream the days. So day 1, 3, day 9, and then the fourth log is day 1047. And that kind of isolation just on its own kind of freaks me out to a certain degree. And then imagining having a vessel or a space that is force feeding you, providing food, even if you kind of want to die in most scenarios, you just be compelled and go ahead and eat anyway. In most scenarios, just instinctually, that's very hard to resist, even if you go out of your mind waiting, trying not to eat anything. The smell of food perforating the room and all that. And then so and then knowing you're innocent, well, assuming having in your mind that you're innocent, that might drive you even more to try and live through it. And I have absolutely no idea where this guy was going. Absolutely no clue. But he he sure took his time. It'd be interesting to know perhaps when he died. But that log, you know, was almost 3 years apart, so who knows. I'll unmute myself on Discord. They're probably done by now. Are you guys finished?
Yeah.
I was talking on stream, and I don't know if anyone here who was, if they're on there, but did anyone take the time to look at the difference in the dates between the final two laws? Could you imagine?
He switches real fast between I hate the siren and what happened to my siren.
Yeah, yep. What I was saying a second ago was that even if you were trying to starve yourself, the food pumping out at you the entire time, and I'm sure perforating the room because it's a small area, right? You're at some point instinctually you're just gonna go ahead and give in, especially if you're someone that's like him that assumes he's innocent. You're gonna have even more gall and perseverance to try and just keep going and live through it. So the first time I heard this one, I was like, oh my god, being force fed by a machine and being the last one alive, or the last one there, really like psyched me out the first time I heard it. Yeah, this is one of the newer ones. I don't know what number. I would probably say maybe double digits, maybe 10 or 11. I'm not sure, but it definitely came out pretty late into the generation ship story.
Somebody goes, get that guy out of there.
I would love to know where. I would just the game volume would be too loud. I would just love to know some of the backstories on some of these, as much as I don't want to know, right? But that's the fun part, is that they don't tell you everything. That's why I love these one-off stories, because it's just kind of you can kind of write whatever you want, really, and so long as it fits within the elite universe, then it's all fine. And now interestingly enough, there are some things that are on these one-off stories which I think we might get to as the last one. There are some things where there's qualities of Elite's universe that haven't ever been mentioned before anywhere. Stuff like, objects. Well, objects is the wrong word. A point of empty space creating gravity, and there being something there but not physically there. And we've never had that for an Elite story before. Among a couple other things in that log, but we'll see if we get to that one. I might just it's a surface base, but it's a little ways away, so depending on how many people we have at that point, I still have to log in my codex, so I might just play it from there. Had you ever heard, I'm sure you at least had heard the Thetis tracks. Have you ever heard any of these? Okay. So we have two more, and the last one is the one I mentioned a minute ago. This next one is a little ways away. Not too bad. It's 357 light years away, but that's just 8 jumps for me. Might just do some injections along the way to make it faster. But then if I get there faster, I'll still end up waiting on you guys, so. Oh yeah, who was mentioning that about the, I had something to say, but who was mentioning that about the siren? I didn't have Discord open.
Oh, man. was saying. He went from he liked his siren to his dislike of the siren pretty
Yeah. Really quick, yeah.
I'm sorry, miss, what was the next system?
The next system I had not said yet. It is Kolachi, Coelachachi. It's a shame. I think this is one of the farther ones out. I should have a list at some point and see what the farthest gen ship is away. This is another gen ship, but this one's unique in the fact that it is one of the. Is it the only other, actually? No, maybe actually. It's been a while. It might be the only other generation ship that actually did complete its mission compared to the Golconda. However, completing the mission was the downfall. So never ends very well for these generation ships. More than anything, it's just amazing that more than half of these actually got to their final location, because I cannot imagine how people in that close of an area manage to behave for any period of time. We already have an entire planet and we can't behave. We are in Elite, we have an entire galaxy to move around and we can't behave with each other. So seems space is never the main factor.
So half of the sum, 30,000 or 70,000.
Yeah,
successful.
I don't. Well, it was more than half. I don't understand. Drew and a couple other people had mentioned this. I don't understand how there were 70,000 of these things that went out in the time period that they had. What is the system name? Hold on. Bluha. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. That doesn't have any any roots. I study language and I can't see any roots of language. I feel like that might just be a glued together one. Maybe not.
It's Latin for
Bullja. Does this mean anything? I type it in and the only thing that comes up is Elite Dangerous. I love when you type in real places or real stars and all you get is Elite. Even on an incognito tab where it hasn't been tracking you at all.
I'm pretty sure that's a Kid Rock song, right?
It's bizarre.
70,000 number, didn't that come out of the guidebook or the game manual for the original game, or was that out of one of the old novels?
Oh, the 70,000?
Yeah.
Came out of Elite, and I believe it was an old book that said it too. There's two places, and I know one's written down, and the other is in game. But yeah, so what I was saying on that is I don't understand the time periods, because there are 70,000 of these things went out in a very short time period, and in the story at that time, they're struggling with resources. They've only moved out to 3 systems from Sol, really, and I don't understand how they're mass producing these things. But then again, how do they terraform Mars? Obviously, they took a second time to do it, but how do they do it so quickly? And how do they build starports so fast? So I don't know what the people in the ED have learned about efficiency, but they do a lot of things pretty quick at weird time scales for the amount of work it takes. But these things happen. I suppose I could have had my carrier set up to jump, but that big of a deal.
Frameshift drive charging.
Misplaced Kolyash's distance because I was remembering it from a different, being in a different system.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's alright. I don't jump around enough anymore. That carrier.
Yeah, getting too used to one 500 light year jump whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I am very sparing with my carrier, mainly because the places I go are obviously in range of a carrier, but they're just enough out of range that the time doesn't warrant using one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then often I'm doing silly stuff like selling meta alloys at 1.9 million per ton, even though you could get them for free at the moon below during the last CG. And for some reason, people were giving me like 200 million credits a day doing that. I have no clue. People's laziness will drive them to do many things.
System scan complete.
Collect meta alloys, question marks, profit.
That's what I'm gonna do now. Anytime that there's a Thargoid anything, I'm just gonna move my carrier, and it's always gonna have like a couple hundred metas, which it isn't hard to source because having the spreadsheet, I've got all the ripe cycles set and all the locations for the ×5 meta alloy sites. So one relog and you've got 5. If you go to some of the forests, they have 6. So very easy to knock out 100 or so in a sitting when you're like writing or doing something else on the computer. I'm trying to pick, because I haven't listened to any of these in over a year and a half, and I'm trying to pick which is my favorite out of the already ones I picked to be my favorite for this. I don't know, that guy in number 6 of the Far God story really stole the show for me, because I forgot, because it was, a sad story.
Eager to see everybody die.
Yeah, it's a sad story about the girls obviously being taken advantage of by these the cult of having them join, but she also doesn't have anywhere to go, but she wants to go kind of make amends with her father, but they're telling her that it's time to leave the reality, and so she's torn. And then the next person is someone who's absolutely screwed over by family members and this and that, and so that one's really harsh and relatable. And then you've got this generational ship isn't popping up. Have I sent us the wrong way? Nah, it's here. There we go. Phobos. You have to use your FSS to find it. Anyway, then right smack in the middle of those two, you've got I just can't wait to see someone get blasted. Still though, it was written well enough that it was definitely reckless adolescence, but it was clearly a neglected / disturbed reckless adolescence. So it wasn't just like they had pulled some teenager off the street and like, all right, voice act this for us. Yeah, dude, it's shooting people. The Thargoid shooting people is pretty radical.
I'd never heard Scientology referred to as the Far Gods.
I wish, you know what I would love is if the Guardian people who said humans, I don't know if it was them, I should have looked into that, but I completely forgot that they existed because they didn't have anything. I don't know if it was them saying that they were the disciples of the Guardians, or if all of humanity was because we were similar, and that we should be fighting the hell demons that are the Thargoids. I would have loved for them to have some logs, because that would have been interesting. That guy. Because for a second I accidentally like sped through. I didn't speed through, but I clicked away a little too fast when you'd rather your mind to simmer with what you just heard for a second. So I went from the girl straight to this is gonna be awesome. Gave me a decent chuckle. Now that I think about this particular generation ship's story, I find it weird of where it's placed. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but take note of where it's sitting after you listen. Guess we can use the orrery to see that too. Yeah, just way off in the middle of. Oh, hold on. That's interesting. Well, I'll wait. I'll wait to drop in. That's an interesting quality of the orrery I didn't notice. So you open up the orrery while you're here, and not the galaxy map like I just did. Huh, okay. That's an interesting... Alright. Well, that begs the question how far you can go before you just disappear off the edge of the orrery map, huh? So I don't know if anyone's looking, but when you drop in, we are outside of the borders of where you can zoom in on the orrery map. You can't like move the cursor out there. It's interesting. I was thinking about a little excursion the other day, trying to see who might be up for strapping some anacondas full of fuel and doing some orrery testing, because I'd be interested to see if, like, I know people have gone cross systems before, right? Obviously it doesn't load because the jumping is the loading part, but I'd be interested to see what that looks like on the orrery. Oh my. Is that in here? No, it is not, but we're gonna force it anyway. That's why I like small ships. However, there's no rear view mirror in this Dolphin. So I can't see where I'm backing up. There we go. Alright, who's breaking relics? I hear someone banging. Okay, that's you, chick. I heard someone banging on things. Damn, that's on the other side. I'll be able to make it. This is only 4 logs? I don't remember that. Yeah, 4 logs. Okay. What's that dark cloud back there? Is that the, we're pretty close to the pine. It's not the pine. Actually, what? Oh yeah, the coal sack. That's what it is, coal sack. See that very faintly over there. Alright. The usual. I'll mute myself here.
Officers Log 6933. We've done it. We're down on the surface and the habitats are all fully operational. No more supply runs to the ship and back. We've established 5 settlements in this region, with another 10 spread across the other regions. The elected leaders of each group have voted and declared the mission a success. Many of the settlements have decommissioned their landers as a sign of this, even holding ceremonies to celebrate our new life here. However, it appears our new home may not be as welcoming as we had hoped for. Much of the indigenous flora and fauna have proven to be toxic and highly aggressive. Several of the crew have been attacked while gathering food and supplies, and we've lost a few people to various incidents involving local plant life. Settlement Alpha and Beta have also been having problems with animal attacks. I mean, by all accounts, they've had it worse than us, with entire teams being lost. We've posted additional sentries to guard the settlement, but we're not a military operation. We're explorers and colonists. The best we have is an ex-security officer to keep us safe. We were simply not expecting such a hostile environment. Medical Officers Log 7463. The creatures got into our habitats. God, it was a massacre. So many dead women, children. They ate. God, I think I'm gonna be sick. We can't stay here. Corell has gathered up everyone he could find, and we're heading for Settlement Delta in the mountains east of here. Hopefully we can find some shelter up there. Corell said something about them keeping the lander intact as an emergency measure. Maybe we can use that to get back to the ship. Medical Officers Log 7467. We reached Settlement Delta this morning. Only there's no one here. There are signs of what looks like a fight and barricades in some of the bigger buildings. It looks like they tried to use the main hub as shelter, but whatever attacked them tunneled in through the floors. I can't shake the feeling that these animals are watching us, biding their time. It feels like we're being hunted. At least the rumors about the launcher are true. It's here and fully intact. It seems as if our friends had turned it into a monument rather than break it down like the rest of us did. We've managed to locate the orbiting ship's beacon and made the necessary calculations for a launch. Our only problem is the fuel cells. They're dry. Hugh, our engineer, seems to think he can get some from the other building in the settlement. It will just take a little time, a couple of days, maybe. I mean, all we can do is wait and keep our guard up until we can get off this planet. Somehow, I don't know how, one of those things got on board. It must have been in the lander when we launched. We've managed to trap it in the farm pods, but not before it killed all but 3 of us. Leo won't make it through the night. The thing mauled him pretty badly. All we can do is keep him doped up on pain meds. As for Hugh and me, without access to the farms, we're living on borrowed time. We're in the process of setting everything back up when the creature attacked. We only have the few days' rations that were on the land. Wait. What was that? No! How did it get out? This can't be happening. It can't be happening.
need to let Data grab his, but I haven't unmuted Discord. So there's a trend, and maybe I should save this convo for when Data is done, but we'll live. I can recap for a second. There's a trend in Elite where they put in these audio logs and they put in an individual sound bite of something. And then later down the line, they expound upon that audio bite that they have and use it actually somewhere in game. A good example is the audio from the boarding party, where people get boarded by pirates. It's a generation ship, and they you hear the first audio of first person like shooter sounds. You hear like handguns and blasters and stuff. There's a whole like gunfight at the end of that log. As a matter of fact, we're waiting on Data, so, and maybe one other person, so why not? We just skip to that one because we've already ran through this one in the past. Honestly, I could just play it, the whole thing, but I'll just skip to the very end for now, unless you guys want to hear the whole of it. Where are we? There we are. So they did first-person shooter audio. Then and now we're getting, we've got Odyssey. So that sound was, withheld. It was very, very unique. So I was like, I could see the sound design going crazy, but that's a decent amount of time and the sounds that they had to put in to just have that for a one-off log. And then in the INRA sounds, you hear the first actual Thargoid individual, like the being itself, and you can hear that in one of the INRA logs, which I don't. Yeah, it looks like I've got. Yeah, it's this one. Let's see. This one isn't. If I play this isn't super spoily, unlike the other one. So we can go to this one. I think it's this one. It's 2 or 3.
Apparently, they listened to me. We've been asked to build some testing apparatus in a secure enclosure. I drew up a preliminary specification, but was told the enclosure needed to be more robust. These creatures must be tremendously strong.
Nope. I guess it's 3. Yeah.
The specimen arrived today. The security reports indicate that it made several escape attempts, the most recent of which resulting in a number of deaths. We must take every precaution. The specimen appears to be in poor physical health, but it's undoubtedly alive, and it will certainly serve our purposes.
So you can hear, if you put it into some sort of audio editor, you can clean it up and you can hear very clearly the wailing, sort of almost UA sounds, plus an individual organic being screaming at the same time. They've like hybridized the audio, and I find that really neat. And then, we've had obviously leaks about first-person Thargoid combat, so it makes me interested having a log like this, where there's audio of a individual creature that isn't, it's just on its own. So it has me hyped for potential organic life at some point, but we shall see, I suppose. I can go ahead and unmute Discord by now. Did you get it, Data?
Yep.
I was just having I don't know if you were listening or not, but I was just having a discussion with the stream about audio use in these logs tends to be used towards future things. I think I mentioned that before to you, actually. in regards to some of the first-person shooter sounds and the live Thargoid sounds, but this particular story has me hyped for the eventuality of having other types of fauna that aren't, that you just find on surfaces. At the very end there, that last log, you can hear a really alien, xenomorph style, Alien the movie situation. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I stopped halfway through the not welcome logs and listened to the living specimen while you were listening to it.
Well, yeah, I can let you go ahead and finish if you like.
Okay.
Let's see. What else? Why am I going to get on that codex? Let's see. I think if there's any other that have preliminary audio. There's so many. There's Mining Team 6, but that's not it. Doesn't have anything. A lot of these have audio, but I have to go back and get them again. So for some reason the audio doesn't always save. Like Salome is saved. That's an old one. Zurara is saved. Yeah, those are really the only three that I can think of that have anything that we haven't seen in game. I love this one. Well, he's wrapping those two up. Let me see the very last one. Last one has no audio, sadly, but I think it's kind of close to where we are. Yeah, here we are. Alrighty. AB1D. Here it is.
Gave me chills. Made my hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Yeah, the Far God ones did that for me, but that's just the voice actor emotions. I'm pretty sure I had that same scenario with these. I absolutely love like I was saying there, that is some very Xenomorph style. Not only the story, but then that audio at the very end is interesting. I like the uniqueness of of what they said about some of them, though, burrowing through the floors.
Intelligent hiding and escaping.
Well, there's a couple I'm gonna copy and paste the next location because it's coal sector. This will be the last one. It doesn't have any audio, so quip, but it's a fun read because it is a very strange one-off out of all of them. But what was I saying? Oh, there's some of them where, oh god, what was it? I remember half of what I was gonna say. Wait a minute. Something about, what did you say a second ago after I said tunneling through the floors? Oh, intelligence.
Intelligence,
Yeah.
yeah.
There are some that, like there's some stories like the founding of the Empire,
Right.
where they Akanar had a fully sentient, not just little rats running around, but it was a fully human level sentient
Right.
species, and they watched the people land from the shadows, and eventually bacteria and whatnot, sickness got to them and they all died out. But there's been a couple cases in Elite where there have been other sentient things. Obviously in the really old first game it was really wacky because you had the purple reptiles and the green monkeys. If you read any of the system, obviously all it's been retconned, but if you read any of the system descriptions, this system is inhabited by aggressive furry humanoid felines that are purple and stuff like that. It's really bizarre 80s sci-fi stuff.
Was Akanar where they kept some of them in a zoo? The ones that survived.
That's a Deneb. Let me go by Soul. And I can read that. I don't remember somewhere over here because it was Altair. Let's see. Here it is. Was it Deneb? No, it wasn't Deneb. It was one of the first three, and I can't remember which one it was. Wasn't Altair.
Tau Ceti. Tau Ceti.
Yeah. That was the first. Tau Ceti. That was the first system to be colonized outside of Sol. Yeah, first colony outside of the Sol system, where the first alien life was discovered. Unfortunately, the last remnants are now in zoo enclosures for tourists. Crops cover most of the surface. Yeah, Tau Ceti was the first system that the Federation went out and colonized. Afterwards, followed by Altair and Deneb. I think Deneb was the next one, but yeah. So there's been multiple cases where we've had living things, and I don't know how you would really implement it in the game, because you would want to have that type of life be rare, but you would also want to have people find it at some point. But all I can imagine is you implement something like that, and then I don't know, maybe you don't have exactly cave. I mean, Braven did talk about having cave systems, but you've got some, on foot cave system. You're going in completely dark, your lights shut off, and then you hear random grumbling that sounds nothing like, Thargoids or whatever, and having a chase scene. That sounds wonderful. I guess I don't need to be refueling. It's really close. But yeah, so there's been a few instances of that. Now this one, I want everyone's opinion on it. Again, it's a read-only one, but I want everyone in chat and in voice their opinion on, because I don't really know what to say about it. I think there's one other story vaguely-ish similar, but this is really just a out of the blue, no context for it kind of story.
I wonder where Phobos landed, what planet?
Yeah, that's an interesting part too. That was the other thing I meant to say, but I got distracted because I was still waiting on you and I just happened to forget. I wonder where, hold on. I am going to, so it's AB1D is the body we're heading to. I am going to super cruise that and go back to Kalachi. Empire. So, everything's unexplored. That's helpful. but I can tell by the audio. If I turn my music back on, I can tell what type of planet or moon they are, because they all have their own audio. That was the old way of finding out if you didn't use EDDB or anything. You would system scan and then just listen to the audio. Is that a water world or an Earth-like? Oh, I hear birds. Earth-like. Okay. So we have. Yeah. Hold on, let me listen. I think all these are the same. Yeah, these are all like rocky ice to ice on that have atmospheres. So it would be very odd. Well, I guess we have this high metal content world that has a water atmosphere. And that is not thin. That is a pressure of 14,000 atmospheres. So we won't be able to go there, I don't think, in Odyssey. But you definitely have given me a good place to try and go, depending on which of these I can land on. Go and immediately get attacked. When you die in first person, you die permanently. You can't use Iron Man mode if you get out of your shit. What happened to Juan? Well, Data told him to go check out the...
he did.
Yeah.
Juan Jr.'s running around now. Galaxy is clone.
There is there's only one case of an organic that actually boarded your ship in an Elite game, and I can't remember if it was an add-on by a fan or if it was real, because I cannot find the damn thing because the name is so weird. It was like Trubles, Truffles, Tribbles, Frugals. I don't know. It was something along those lines, and basically what it was I think it was in the second or third game. I think it was the second game. It was a commodity that if you kept, it was a tradable organic creature, and that if you kept it in your hold too long, the story was that they multiplied, and then if you kept them in your hold too long, they filled up your screen, and you couldn't see anything but the little I can't remember if that's
Tribbles. I mean, is the Star Trek creature?
I don't think it definitely wasn't. I've looked, and I almost started typing again. I'm not. I've looked really hard, and someone said it in Sinbad, and I can't find that either. But I can't remember if it was an add-on. You know, so many people have modded variations of the game, so I don't know. But yeah, you kept it in your cargo hold, and it would multiply and fill up your screen, and you couldn't see anything. And of course, the game was it wasn't fully colorized all that well, so it was just these big red and green and blue, like neon little puffballs jumping around. I feel like that had to be a fan thing. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, a homage or ripoff to Tribbles.
Yeah.
It's got to be a fan-made thing, right?
Yeah, I feel like it was a fan-made thing, and it might not even have been a scenario where it was even in the game fan-made. It was just a fan-made thing, and they made a UI for it, to be honest. Could have been that. It was on some very obscure Elite wiki, and I never found it again, so... Yeah. One day I'll find it, but I just thought that was hilarious. So, communication array Delta 69 is the location we're heading, and it is, well, you don't need the coords, you can DSS it. I wonder if I'm actually going to be able to get the logs for this or not, because I've been here recently. I guess worst case scenario, I pull them up in the side panel. Got them on my codex still. I can't see a damn thing. do see a... Oh, this is still in pieces. These damn NPCs orbiting are obnoxious to me. I'm sure it's just me. I'm sure none of you guys like paid any attention to it, but to me it's just get away, little gnats. Too musically inclined. If I hear a sound, I just latch onto it, and I can't think of anything but the sound.
Landing gear deployed.
I hope we get a little speeder bike that, or something that hovers in Odyssey that I don't need wheel traction for. That'd be nice. Don't know how you balance that though. I mean, I guess it wouldn't carry anything, but just be for moving around would be nice. That looks like I'm able to actually gather these.
Incoming message.
I believe this one some of you might remember I actually posted this in the Discord, so I left it for last, if anyone actually remembered. But I post a lot of things on Discord, so I'm sure it just as easily emplaced in people's minds, and just as easily left as many things I say. Oh, come on. What is this? Oh, that's just the beacon. It's going off my radar. One day when everyone isn't super busy, we'll do an INRA one, because that might have some prevalence again going into Odyssey. Might need assistance. Finding these, actually. Maybe it's this one. Nope. There's too many materials all over the place. I'm missing one. I guess it doesn't really matter. This one will be easier if I just pull it up on the codex anyway. But I'll try and find it really quick. I'm missing number 2, if you see it. Either of you see it.
I just saw the title of one of the messages, and I remember now. I posted.
Yeah.
Recall it.
I had more voice actor ones, but I figured it'd be pretty late, so I wanted people's opinions on this one, since this one bothers me still. That there's no end or follow-up or resolution to. I was gonna, if Hate was here, I was gonna have him narrate. That'd been fun. Well, I'm not finding it. If you find it, cool. I don't really need it. Who is shooting? Okay.
On cockpit mode.
So I thought we had NPCs shooting at us. Yeah, I'm just missing two. Maybe it was up by the up over here. No. I wish the settlement logs were numbered, because that would make things very easy, but yeah, maybe this is it. Nah, I came up to this already. Which ones do you have, Data?
I'm missing 2. That's
You're
it.
missing 2 as well? Okay. Well, I've driven around and rescanned. Nope.
Here it is. Right here.
Must have been overlaid with the material for me. Yeah, it was. No? Are you sure?
Yep, I got all 5.
That's number 2? Wait. No, there's 2 glued. No? That's... It must just be I scanned that one like a day too early.
This one here.
Yeah, that one's 2?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it says I already scanned it. Oh yeah, that's whatever. That's just because I've been here recently. I must have... if I could scan the others, that means I must have been just a few hours off. If I literally waited, I could probably rescan it, but I'm gonna pull it up on the codex so everyone can read, because it's kind of tiny. And my voice is giving out, so I don't think I'll be reading this one. I will mute myself, however. And maybe I can zoom this in on the stream really quick, actually. So, I'm mute on Discord. So, I know some people have read books and I haven't for Elite, but has anyone ever heard anything at all about anything remotely like this? And I'm going to say anything a couple more times. Because I sure as hell haven't.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Trying to fly around a 10-kilometer radius circle around the.
Yeah, some of these have. I paused during one of them. I left it on screen a little longer because I was looking through the settlement logs we have. Some of these settlements do actually have stuff out in the distance. However, this one so far has nothing, and if there was, you'd be able to see it as a beacon or a signal. But yeah, so to recap, because I saw like 2 people just joined, we have a body found in a, doesn't really say what the settlement is doing, but let's just say it's a security settlement because they talk about security quite often through it. So they got a security settlement here and a body just appears out of nowhere, and it's assumingly dead. Then they're trying to figure out how this body, just as you would, everyone there is accounted for, no ships have come or gone, and there's no sign of death. It's just a body just, pops into existence. And then they mention about 10 kilometers from the station, there appears to be a kind of radio transmission with a data packet encoded into it. They try to decipher it, but couldn't really get anything out of it. And then the real wacky part outside of the next bit is that along with the signal, something has appeared on the planet's surface that, according to our survey, simply can't be there. There's a gravitational pull of some massive object, but there's nothing we can detect physically there. Gravitational field measured approximately 0.1 Gs, which would be massive to just be creating anything at all measurable. But we can't see what's creating it. Whatever it is a source of the signal as well. And and then in the next log, the dude just rips open his eyes and starts broadcasting the signal. So there's nothing in, even the Thargoids don't, well, I don't know for sure obviously, but as far as up till now, even the Thargoids don't have anything regarding tech seen like this before. So I have absolutely no clue, and I know maybe some people who watch the VOD or whatever, I know some of the people in Loose Series have read some of the books, but I've never heard anything like it. And I also don't ever really hear anyone talk about this one. Obviously it's a one-off story and it might not lead anywhere, but the fact is that apparently stuff like this can exist in the game story, so it makes you wonder then what might be there in either a system or somewhere that just you can't see, but it's physically there, which you wouldn't really, outside of the way comets work, because comets are in the game and you can select them and you can see how they manipulate the gravity and orbital lines around the objects they're near. So that type of stuff exists, but I'm not referring to that. I'm just talking about an absolutely just out of nowhere body appears. Some big thing in the distance is making gravity when there shouldn't be, and then the dude rips his eyes open and starts broadcasting a signal. And that was to me, that one creeps me the most out of all of them, because there's nothing in Elite anywhere like it, and that concerns me. What were you gonna say?
It's a big, super loud dial-up modem sound. That's what came out of the guy.
Yeah. So.
God.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. I just figured I'd end on. There's more, but it gets late. But I figured I'd end on that one because I at least wanted people to know that that apparently whatever that is can exist in the game. I've never heard anything about any teleportation or multi-dimensional or things in Elite other than the Thargoids, you know, traversing wish space. So, oh, you need to visit this one. Well, I can probably mute for Discord and I can read it to you if you want really quick. I just needed to like let my voice chill for a bit. I knew the entire time I'd be trying to talk, so but I can probably do that for the stream ends. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. I'd say there's about 7, and I could probably give locations to those over the Discord. For anyone else that wants to go to some of them on their own, but I couldn't resist going back to the Thetis. The Far Gods I thought were interesting, the Prisoner one, and then the one that made your hair stand on end, Data.
Yeah. Those are all
stuff.
All great.
I'm assuming that would have been your favorite then, Data?
Yeah, I think so.
What about you?
Scary.
What about you, Chig and Pearson?
I like the Prisoner.
The Prisoner? Yeah.
That one was cool.
That was a neat setup.
I don't know. The first one too. The ship signal is where they start murdering everybody's good too.
Yeah. What was the line specifically in there? Oh yeah, Pearson was one. Pearson was the last one with me, but I had to stab him in the throat to stop him. I can't remember what I had to stop him doing, but he's dead now. What about you, Pearson?
That one really got me too a lot. That whole like being stuck out there by yourself just hardcore freaks me out.
Oh, the Prisoner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I especially not. Yeah, that one's a kind of a multi-leveled one because it's not just like you being alone. Like then what happened to everyone else at the same time makes it even more, psychotic. But yeah, I don't know. Take whatever this particular place is through your journeys if you see anything or come across something, because I saw this one in the canon settlements list because, believe it or not, there are quite a number of settlements I haven't been to just because there's so many, and there's one lost one I can think of off the top of my head. Don't know where it went because the dude deleted the comment accidentally and he left the Discord that I was in, and no one has ever mentioned it since. So there's one lost log set out there, just that, you know, as they do, people see things and, oh, this isn't really that important. I'm sure someone else has seen it, and they just go about their way, but they end up missing something that no one else has seen before. So, yeah, I have no backstory at all for this one. But yeah, I'll throw another one or two if anyone wants to go in there. And I'm glad now I have the audio for the Far God ones because I had the text, but the codex didn't have the audio, so I'm glad I have the "this is gonna be awesome" guy. It's a shame Hate isn't around. He was the one that wanted to see most of these. I mean, other people did, obviously, but it was in part his idea, but he'll live, I guess. I don't think it was the time we started. I think just everyone kind of, it hasn't been on this week. It was just you and me and Manny last night for most of the time. So, happens.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay.
This was a lot of fun, as expected.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say I don't think I'm gonna have any logs to be able to give you for Christmas because I don't think there's any Christmas themed gift of giving sort of logs anywhere.
Where Santa Claus is? What?
Yeah, no, they did do a sort of It wasn't a scavenger hunt. They did used to do a lot of scavenger hunts back when, but it wasn't a scavenger hunt. It was some sort of like, you know, a lot of places in humanity still go by some of Earth's holidays, not really celebrating the holiday itself, but just having a festive time. And there was one time in Galnet where it was like, there was a community goal, and they put in a temporary rare, and it was like presents or something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it wasn't a temporary rare and I just didn't know about a present rare, but yeah, it was something about delivering gifts and goodies to and then you got a reward at the end, which I don't know what that was. So other than that, I cannot think of you guys will have to think of something for Christmas.
You're telling me NORAD can track Santa, but they hadn't figured it out in 3306?
I don't know. Let's go to one of the CQC installations where they have the big LED holographic banners, and let's just plug in like some really bad Christmas movie into HDMI into that, play it in game, sit and watch it from there. Anyway, that was that. I hope everyone enjoyed some of my favorite ones.
Yeah, man, that was very cool.
Yeah. To go have some nightmares, thanks.
Have fun going to sleep and thinking about the prisoner one.
Yeah.
It's okay. The INRA, we can probably, I don't know when we'll do the INRA one, but the INRA has such things as putting Thargoid body parts through hydraulic presses to see how much resistance they can take, and so they have a lot of creepy ones as well. I don't know what we'll do then. Maybe that'll be Christmas. It'll be anti-Christmas logs. Anyway, I can let you guys go.
All right. Y'all have a good evening.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Guys.
You too.
See y'all.
So, if you're still around, Scotty, I can read it to you really quick. But that depends if you're around. It says you're in chat, but Twitch often likes to show users around pretty late when they're no longer there. So I'll often find myself talking to nobody. In the meantime, we could go to boarding party. I mean, we've seen enough generation ships, we know what they look like. So we can throw up the other audio I was talking about in that, end it that way. Or wolf in sheep's clothing. Actually, this is more Halloween-y. We'll go with this. This will be a last little treat. I can read the I see you're still there, Scotty, so I can read the one we just looked at, and then we'll close with wolf in sheep's clothing, because that is, I really like that one. I keep saying that, but I like these for many different reasons. So, let's see if I can speak enough to read this one. Might actually grab water before I do. Only one abandoned log settlement. Ah, okay. Yeah, these are well. I mean, you can see how many I have, and there are many more that before the codex that that aren't tracked, and some of these are blank because the codex isn't the greatest thing in the world. There's a ton of lore on the ground, and that's the reason I do these little voice acted lore tour stuff, is because a lot of people either don't know they exist, or they might, see one or two and go, well, that was cool, but it's probably not, there probably aren't that many, so I'll just, not go through it. But there's all the generation ships, of which there's 16. There's some gen ships I haven't visited, so I'm missing a couple. And then there's a lot of lore in the tourist beacons. And as a matter of fact, if anyone wants it, I know, so there's a lot of lore in the tourist beacons, and sometimes you don't always want to stop and, get out of Super Cruise and travel to them. So I have a little list in my other Discord where if you see a tourist beacon in your system and you don't want to take the time out to drop in, not necessarily that you're lazy, just it's sometimes annoying just to go and a stop or two over, especially if there's a lot of them. But I have a tourist beacon. It's not editable. It's a public spreadsheet. And if you take this and you save it, it's almost, as far as I know, almost every single tourist beacon in the game is documented there by players with accompanying images. And so there's a lot of lore there. And if you want to, let me just click on that, make sure I actually link the right thing. So I have a lot of spreadsheets. Yeah. So if you want to read one and you don't really want to drop in, there's the image, and they also put what the text is in text too. So I find that pretty helpful because they're fun to drop into, but after you've been to about 30, 40, 50 of them, they to me became a hassle. And I'm not normally one to say that because I enjoy going out of my way to look at stuff, but it is what it is. Some of them, like here, this is from Kate Russell's book, Slough Orbital, The Cheese Little Bar. This is from an Elite Dangerous novel or novella. And obviously some of them are just, there's geysers, geysers here. Others are actual Elite history. And the ones in there, if I go back to that, the ones in there that are marked Elite History, let's see. There's tourist, a lot of those are written, user submitted or just player submitted ones. Visitor beacons are just kind of usually basic text, but if you roll down the section that says Elite History, that'll give you all the ones FDev themselves have definitely made in their actual in-game lore, whatnot. But anywho, so there's a lot to go through. I think it's always worth going out. It's just a matter of finding, knowing where they are, because you don't run into a lot of this stuff just on your daily. But anyway, we can go back to this. Let's see if I can read it or not. Good, always starts with a nice So, the title is Mysterious Body, 1 of 5. Control, we've got a problem down here at Hab B. I'm gonna need someone from security down here on the double. We've found a body, and before you ask, it's not one of us. All personnel are present and accounted for. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but there's no way this guy should be out here. It's not like a dead body can be classed as personal effects, but he's here alright. He just appeared out of nowhere. Personal log, the second one is personal log J. Baton, I don't know how to say the last name. We're going to say Batone. That's not it, but J. Batone, array commander. Wilkins is right. We're going to have to inform the authorities about this. But how do we do that? They'll think we're either crazy or worse, that we killed this guy. It doesn't matter that there isn't a mark on him. And or that according to medic, there's no cause of death. No disease, no poison or radiation. We've looked up the ship and its disappearance. Some kind of anomaly causing the ship to just vanish without a trace. These things are just stories that the deep space explorers tell to make their job seem more interesting than just scanning simple planets and stars. Nothing like that actually exists, or we would know about it. I need to report this. And then I think, the next one is from the same guy. It started this morning. Everything seemed normal, but there was an uneasiness among the team. No one could put a finger on it, just a general feeling that something was wrong. And then the signal started. It was about 10 kilometers from the station and appeared to be some kind of radio transmission with a digital data packet signal encoded into it. We spent hours trying to figure out how to decipher it, but I have to say at the moment we don't have a clue what we're dealing with here. Along with the signal, something has appeared on the planet's surface that, according to our survey, simply can't be there. There's a gravitational pull of some massive object, but there's nothing we can physically detect there. The gravitational field measured approximately 0.1 Gs, but we can't see what's creating it. Whatever it is, it's the source of the signal. We sent out a skimmer with some equipment as a probe. I'm not going to risk anyone going out there until we know what we're dealing with. Number 4, emergency broadcasts. Do not come here. I repeat, do not come here. He opened his eyes, and there was something there. The signal starting coming from him, like it was inside. I've ordered everyone out, locking off the infirmary until I can figure out what's going on. Signal building stronger. People started feeling it, like it was in our heads. This anomaly, closer now, can't explain. Seems to be. Think it's going to. That's weird to read. I don't know what the intensity of that would be. But it's just broken up at the end there. And then the last is a sit rep from the recovery team. Team 963 reporting in. I don't know what to tell you, sir. There's no one here. No bodies. No sign of any problem. All automated systems are A-OK. Just no one is here. It's like they just vanished. Yes, I know how that sounds. All the security logs on the doors say nobody left. The ships and escape pods are still in place. They left their belongings, food, water, clothing. Yes, sir. I understand. Securing the station logs now, sir. Team 963 out. Please tell me what the fuck. Please tell me what the hell this means. This is a really interesting one to me. Surprised I was able to read all that because I'm getting sleepy. So, for the last one, let's see. Wolf in sheep's clothing. I do have the audio for this, so what I'm going to do, add to playlist all of these. And then we're going to this is the back. This should play in order. Now, there's none of those pesky ships over my head. Though there is one over there. So I'm going to try and play this from in here, and then this will be our sign off for the evening. Hopefully everyone enjoyed their time.
I thought this would be a new start. I thought coming out here things would be different, but now after this I see that nothing has changed. People lie and other people just pay the cost. It seems like someone smuggled an illegal animal on board. A dog. They've been keeping it in one of the storage pods, stealing food for it from one of the kitchens. But it looks like that wasn't enough. By what we can piece together, the dog got out somehow and killed a bunch of people. I mean, a real mess. Bite and claw marks all over the bodies. Bite marks on the walls, on the doors, even on the airlocks. The only thing is, it was found exactly where they'd been keeping it all along. And I mean, there wasn't a drop of blood on this thing. If you ask me, this dog didn't seem like the killing type. Well, that didn't stop them from destroying it. I asked the captain to keep the case open, to let me investigate, but no dice. He just saw it as open and shut. I can't shake the feeling that there's something we're missing here.
What sheep they are.
these fools of man. How they prance and bleat, knowing nothing of the true nature of things. Blind sheep following blind shepherds. I have been sent as a wolf amongst this flock to teach them the meaning of their existence. They are nothing. Sacks of flesh flung out into the cosmos to spread their seed. Uncaring children ejected from an uncaring womb. Spreading like a disease, infecting all they touch. So soon, all will bleat as they do. They take only the choicest, this flock, cast down those that will not follow their sightless herders to nothing. They prey on the weak for their own gains, while they preach about unity and togetherness. They shall be snatched, they shall be scattered, they shall be ravaged. The shepherds hunt, but see nothing. They scuttle and scurry and gather their precious flocks to them, but they cannot protect them. I have opened so many eyes to the ways of things, and still they do not see. I have opened them up to new ways, to see what's inside, but they refuse to heed the lesson. What arrogance they show, as if this was all made for them. What gives this virus that is mankind the right to infect the cosmos? The sheep lay out their sacrifices. They think that will sate the wolf's hunger. They do not see the wolf hunts not for hunger. They are blinded by the lies they tell themselves, the lies that tie the fabric of their tiny little world together. But the cord frays and will snap. The lesson must be repeated. Until the baying falls silent.